Now we move on to finally going ahead and building the product. Now we have identified the pain points, right? And we have listed down 10 projects. And we have even prioritized which ones of those features or those projects to build next. So first I'll build this feature, then I'll build this. I've prioritized all of that. Now I start defining my product vision. What do you want the world to look like in 5 months, 6 years, in 6 months, 5 years, and then outcome. What do we want to achieve to help the product realize its vision, right? So we define all of this. We write an entire document which is called the PRD, product requirements document. Before building the product, we write the PRD, in which we write the product vision, what would be outcome, what are the goals, what are the measurable goals along the way. And since they are measurable, we need to make sure that we are able to measure them properly. So we need to be very sure how can we measure them. So goals and metrics we need to define. Then the strategy part. What are we going to do in sequence to hit our goals, right? What is the step 1? What is the step 2? What is step 3? Let's say step 3 is updating the app, launching some new feature on the app. Step 2 is handling all the bugs, right? Step 1 is launching the product in beta version. So this is the entire product journey, product life cycle. Then resourcing. What resources do we need to hit these metrics? So this can be resources in terms of the people in my team. Let's say I have only 2 developers, software developers, but I need 5. So I need to be very clear on how many people or how much resources I require before I start building that product. So that is resourcing. And for example, how many engineers to assign, all of that. So I'll show you one PRD. I think this is a good time to show you a PRD. Although I think after 4 or 5 sessions, we'll study a PRD in detail. But yeah, I'll quickly show you one PRD that I had made. Any questions till now? All right. If there are no questions, I'll quickly show one product requirements document. So pain points are basically what are the needs of the customer. So what are the requirements of the user and where is the user facing problems, right? So this is a product requirements document for Unacademy. And I think we are building, so software engineer prep. We are trying to launch a learn from scratch coding platform on Unacademy. So that is the product that we want to build, right? Learn from scratch coding platform. Then what is the problem that we are trying to solve? Who are our customers? Can be students, graduates, experienced professionals, wanting to start a career in coding, or even students who want to prepare for placements, internships, or other people intending to take coding up as a hobby. And then user research, right? I told you that user research is important. I've built 3 personas. Now this is a person studying in class 11, this is a person studying in college, and this is a person who is graduate and is an experienced professional. So, and I've attached the recordings, call recordings, because I had conducted their surveys, user research surveys. So I've covered all 3 classes of customers, right? All 3 user personas. Then I've described each person and I've listed down the problems faced by each person and how that person started coding, how that person learned coding or wants to learn coding, right? So for example, this person, Aman, requires, he prefers live lectures. And similarly, this person feels that recorded videos are not very helpful, and this person has very less time, so no pre-recorded or live videos suit him. And then thoughts on the platform, what kind of a platform this person wants to use or would be comfortable in using. So that is this. All this is user research. Then we move on to a user journey map, right? I've told you already, yesterday I covered this in detail. uh, Awareness part, user hears about the platform. Then acquisition, we acquire the user. And how do we do that? Through ads or some platform, through some word of mouth or whatever. The person gets to know about the application and opens it, and then selects this programming in this menu. So the person lands on this page and starts exploring the courses that we have. This is the user journey, right? And then the person starts to like some courses, buys some of them. So monetization parts come here. Then engagement part comes. The person really starts to like your course and starts to engage with the course, right? And then referral part, starts to refer other people as well. Then we also list down. Then we also write the impact and the goal of the product or the feature that we want to build, and who is how many members are required, what is the team strength or the team size that are required, right? For example, designers, software team, product managers, indirect stakeholders. For example, teachers are required, right? Mentors are required. And finally, what would be the solution? Now the solution part can be in depth, or there can be another document altogether for this solution part. So these are some features that would be a part of this platform. And what are the alternatives? What other competing solutions exist? And why is our solution better? Because our solution needs to have a USP. Our solution needs to be different from whatever the other people have already done. For example, Interview Bit or Geeks for Geeks are similar platforms that exist. But if Unacademy wants to launch a platform, it needs to be slightly better. Then there needs to be some extra features or something which makes it better than the others. Otherwise, why would people want to switch from this, from Geeks for Geeks, or why would people want to join a new platform? And finally, last but not the least, most important is the success metrics. What would be the metrics that would help me track whether this feature is successful or not? This is extremely important. Throughout product management, you will hear about this term a lot, because without success metrics, no product exists. Every product has some metrics that are needed to be tracked. So for example, for awareness and acquisition, you can track how many signups were there in the launch for the launchpad. And then engagement, retention, we have metrics for all of these parts. I'll cover metrics in detail in some separate lecture. And these are success metrics for each feature. So if you see, there's a significant level of detail that a PRD has, and then a gist of solution, final recommendations. And another important thing are the risks, right? The risks involved. What can go wrong in our solution? For example, let's say you launch a coding platform for school children, right? Classes 4, 5, 6, 7, very beginner level coding, but for the initial classes. Now that might get bad PR, just like White Hat Junior got, right? So you need to be very aware of whether your product will, or whether your feature will backfire or not. So you need to be sure that it will not backfire. That is where you need to also factor in the risks that are involved. So this is the Unacademy PRD. I have a Google PRD as well, which I'll show in some other lecture. So this is one part that one of the important tasks of a PM. A significant amount of time is spent by a PM in writing or helping other people write PRDs. So that was addressing user needs and solving the problem. Next, we move on to a very interesting part, which is UI UX design, wireframing, and related stuff. So any questions till now?
Sir,
Yeah.
one question I have is, say once after we make the PRD, we have an innovative solution, so we add it to the PRD afterwards, like when we are developing the product, going through
So
the.
there are versions, PRD 1.1, 1.3, 1.45. So whenever you think about a new solution or a new feature within that same product or within that same feature, then you can edit the PRD. You can update the PRD. So you can have a 1.0 version to start with, but other versions can follow. So updations go on and on. That is very common. Okay. Yeah, I'll share one or two PRDs that are um, that are commonly referred to by um, PM trainers. So maybe there's one Unacademy, there's one Airbnb PRD which is very famous. Everyone refers to it. I think it is the original PRD that was used by Brian and the other co-founders. So maybe you can go through that.